And hello there, and welcome to a live where we're going to be talking about something really important, and that is about training. If you're a professional speaker, a trainer, a facilitator, you will want to pay attention to this because there's some major changes going on today beyond just the pandemic. And there is some marvelous opportunities if you embrace that. And so we're here to talk to you. And who is the we part? Well, it's not just me and a frog in my pocket. It's me and the lovely and charming Gina Carr, who's joining us also. Gina, thanks for being with us today.
Happy to be here. Thanks so much, Terry.
Yeah, this is going to be fun because we were talking about that article in today's Wall Street Journal they were reading, and it's got some really, really good features there. And so we want to hear from you out there watching us right now. As you're watching this, you got some comments about what's going on with this. We'll look forward to hearing from you because what we've got is the ability to use Restream right now, coming in from many different locations. If you want to leave a comment, that will be fine, whether you're catching this on Facebook or maybe over on YouTube. Maybe you're getting it over on LinkedIn. Hello for all the people there on LinkedIn and Twitter. We're just coming at from a whole bunch of places. Plus, we get a chance to, as Gina knows, I like to play with all my toys and goodies here. So we can use the fun things here. Gina, do you like the graphics that we have?
They're fantastic.
They're just adorable and just monumental, I think. Yes, but then I put them together, so I think that. But let's get on to the training article. Is really good. Now, you've got the paper version there with you, don't you?
I do.
Well, very good. And as you've got the paper, see, she got the paper. I was reading the paper this morning, and I thought, well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and use something else.
We're the last paper subscribers, I think, in the continental United States. But
yeah, it could be.
They do it just for us.
That's right. That's right. And by the way, we're also brought to you today by the wonderful people at Video Challenge Group with Video Rock Stars. And those people happen to be Gina and me as well. So we got a special. And do you like my slide here, Gina? Does that look pretty cool?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, very nice. So Video Challenge
Group. What do they do in the Video Challenge Group?
They give challenges with video, and they challenge you to improve and get even better. And that's what you'll do with Video Challenge Group as part of Video Rockstars. You'll get a chance to learn, and we have programs that are available and a free way for you to do that as well. And that comes to you every Wednesday, well, most every Wednesday, and that will be at 4 o'clock p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. So make sure you get a note of that. Write that down. This is screenshotable. Is that a word? Screenshotable. I think you can get a screenshot of this and have some fun with it, and make sure that you enjoy what you're doing as you're doing that. So we got that. But let's take a look at that article. I want to take a look at what's available there, and we can see some of the features that are available and what it said in there. I'm going to bring up my screen and share the digital version here that I'm looking at on screen right now. How the COVID-19 pandemic changed employee training. Say goodbye to the classroom. Companies are now figuring out how to best use technology to get Terry to move out of the way there for a moment and make sure that Terry's not covering up the words there, to make sure that the workers are best use technology to make sure that they're using that technology the best and need to know what to do. So a lot of interesting things happening there. And as they talk about this in the article, let me make this a little bit larger for you so you can see this here. They are seeing major changes here. There's some fundamental changes underway in how companies train their workers. And I like some of the things that they said here. They talked to Katie Tottenman. Prior to the pandemic, there was an overemphasis on formal learning and a delivery mechanism, she says. Formal classroom delivery training was easy to plan and deliver, but organizations didn't always see the intended results. And we see that is something that happened quite often, that we would see it. And what would happen is people would find out that those training sessions all day long were there and it was okay, but not as good. And hey, I can speak that way because I'm a professional speaker, been doing it for over 38 years now, and going to a lot of different places. We've seen that there are some major changes, and actually for the better. Because Gina, you and I have both been to training sessions. Some of them, and there's a place for this, where you get everybody together, everybody from the company, etc., and we all go to the retreat. You're there for a Friday, Saturday, Sunday kind of thing. There's something to be said for that. But I think that there's another way to do it as well. And one of the ways they talked about in the paper here, in this article, was doing it over a period of time. Breaking it up instead of one long all-day session, might break it up into several different sessions like that. Gina, what are your thoughts on that whole concept?
Well, I think there's a place for both, but I'm so glad that the world has moved to acceptance of breaking things up into smaller chunks, and especially through virtual delivery, because it's really awesome to be in person at events. But because of all the problems with travel these days, because of concern about pandemics and security issues, safety, just so many things that people are concerned about. And it's just more efficient to be able to sit at your home, at your desk, as you and I are doing right now, and engage with some of the top thought leaders in the world, people who have the knowledge that we want to gain, that we can access it either on demand or virtually live, like we're doing right now. And so I think it's fantastic that these options are available and that they're readily accessible and that people are really asking for them.
Yeah, I think so. I think we were seeing that we want them in a different way. Another thing the article talked about I thought was really important was we want bite-sized training, and we want it like on demand when we need it. I need to know, how do I share a screen in Zoom, for instance. That might be a question somebody says. How do I do that? They don't want to watch an 8-hour video on everything in Zoom. They don't even want to watch an hour or 15 minutes. I just want to know, how do I do that? And if I can see it with a video, that makes it a little bit better. And so this might be a little bit discouraging for people who are professional speakers, are thinking, hey, I'm not doing as well. Well, it's a different kind of situation today, because I think what we want is we want the on-demand, but we still want the in-person meeting as well. It's a combination. Gina, would you agree with me? I'm thinking it's really not either or, but it's both and. We want the on-demand, but we also need some training that's going to be there live, and there will be times for maybe those 3-day intense being there retreats. What do you think?
Yes, well, I think that's one of the reasons that we keep hearing this word hybrid. You and I were talking about hybrid years ago, hybrid meetings, where some people are in the audience in person and then some people are out in the audience virtually. That allows you to really help a whole lot of additional people, because the people that can't join you for whatever reason in person, that they can experience it over the internet, or a video recorded or live. And so I think that it's really great that we can offer that. And so to the extent that you can have the in-person, you can have the just virtual, or you can combine the two, which takes a little different skill set as well as different technology, but it's worth it. And it's all very affordable. And even just the tools that we're using right now, eCam, Restream, and we're not using Zoom right now, but Zoom is a great tool to use for a very basic hybrid configuration.
Yeah, I think that combination is good. And so, what we're seeing for speakers right now, for facilitators, for trainers, what you're going to need to do is not have just the skill set of how to use Zoom. Okay, yeah, that was something we had to acquire. And through Video Rockstars, we were able to show a lot of people how to do that, what to do, and all that's involved with that. But now you need to know, how do you relate these skills over a period of time? How do you break it up into bite-sized chunks? And you have to do it that way. That's one of the things that the article talked about, I think, as well, that makes a real difference. Gina, you've read the article as well. What are some things that stood out in your mind as pretty profound?
Well, one of them is something that we talk about in our Video Rockstars community a lot, which is the concept that they didn't use these words, but I'm going to use these words. None of us is as smart as all of us. So one of the things that they strongly recommended to people who are doing virtual training is to get the people that they're training engaged in providing some of the content, in doing the peer-to-peer sharing, where they take the best practices and they're bringing them out of the people that are in the audience, the people that are being trained, that they bring them in, so to speak, as part of the training team in some aspects. So there's a great way to do that. Yes, look at you, so smart with your technology there. None of us is as smart as all of us. Yes, that's something we say in almost every Video Rockstars meeting, because we're constantly bringing up things that we need to learn. And you and we're out there scouring the materials, we're learning the best, and we bring in great trainers who are talking about best practices. Still, there's a person in our audience often who says, oh, but how about this? And we say, oh my gosh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, exactly. So that is true. And that saying there is, of course, an old Japanese saying, and we use that a lot in Silicon Valley. But to think, yeah, no one person is as smart as all. And I would say that even applies to the speaker. Before, in the earlier days, it would be the sage on the stage. I will tell you what needs to be done. And I would speak for like 90 minutes at a conference, and that was good. There was something there. I grew up that way. I cut my teeth on it and earned a lot of money that way. But I think today people want more than anything. They want someone who can be a facilitator, someone who can lead. Matter of fact, Gina, one of the things that I found that was really, really helpful was when you and I visited your alma mater there, Harvard. We went to a Harvard Business School to one of their actual classes, actually to a couple of them, one on a Friday and one on a Monday. And we got a chance to see the professor. And I thought it was uncanny the way that we could see those professors operating, that they would ask a question and they would get comments from people in the class, about 90 people there in every class in the circular seats that went up in the air. And so on the, what do they call that? What would that be called? A classroom forum or something? Gina, what would that be called?
I forgot what we called it. The horseshoe. We called it the chamber. I called it the chamber of doom.
The chamber of doom. Okay. But anyway, they'd be there. The professor would ask a question to say, "Well, Miss Jones, what do you think of that?" And she would have to say something, and if she would sometimes have to talk about the whole case, and a big part of her grade would be on how she answers that. And she didn't know she was going to be called, but everyone knows they're going to be called sometime during the semester or the quarter. Were you on this quarter or semester system there?
I think we were on semesters there.
Yeah, in the semester. So sometime during that semester, you're going to get called, and your grade depends on. So you got to know every one of those, and sometimes more than once. But then they would say, "Well, Miss Jones just said that, but now Mr. Smith, she just said that. What do you think about that? What are your thoughts on that?" And so they go back and forth. And then what would happen is that professor became more of a facilitator. Yes, saying good things. Yes, saying things, but also coming up with ideas that you'd go, damn, that's a good idea. I hadn't thought of it that way. And of course, now the professors usually knew the case studies because they had studied them before. They'd seen some of the inside stuff and all that. But I think that's what we as facilitators, as speakers, have to do. And we're really communicators who solve problems, CSPs. Now, CSP within the National Speakers Association stands for a certified speaking professional. And yes, I am one of those. I be one. However, I think we need to really more than anything be a communicator who solves problems. And that's really what we're going to be doing based on what we're seeing here in the article there. What are your thoughts, Gina?
Well, yes, I agree that facilitation is really important, and it's a skill that can be developed. If you don't feel that you're already good at facilitation, it's something that you can work on.
And I think that's the key is we keep working on it and moving from there and making sure that it's something that we can do. So the world is changing, and we're seeing some major things. Gina, any other comments from the paper that you or that article that you read that you want to mention before we say goodbye?
Well, yes, one that I want to do more than mention. Let's use it. And the concept that was presented in the article is engagement. So those of you who are out there watching either live right now or the recorded version, please pop into the comments wherever you're listening, whether it's on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, even Twitter. Please post. Let us know that you're out there, and let us know what you think are the important trends. Like in particular, what do you think is an important trend that you're seeing in virtual training today? It's certainly changed a lot. We've gone through basically 10 years of what would normally have happened in the next 10 years in just less than 18 months here, where the world has changed. New techniques are being implemented, and we're having to get up to speed every day on, okay, what do people want? What do companies want? How can we best help people so that we can have the most impact on their lives and help them have the most transformation with whatever it is that we teach? So
Yeah.
Terry and I are very focused on helping people with marketing, in particular with video education, how to get your message across through video, and then how to leverage that video to make more income, to make more impact. And so whatever it is that you're teaching, if it's leadership, if it's communication skills, if it's sales, if it's marketing, whatever it is, you can do more and more powerfully, I believe, with one of the most powerful tools available today, and that's video. And it's free video. I mean, we're broadcasting to what potentially could be millions of people right now because lots of people have LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. And Gina, you see, we have a Facebook user there that made a comment. Said, "Not the last paper subscribers," and "screenshotable" is now totally a word. I'd have to agree. Screenshotable is a good word, and if it isn't, by golly, they should make it one. It's right there. So we don't know who you are, Facebook user, because we need to get that fixed up so we can find out exactly who you are. But we really appreciate you mentioning that. And Gina, you're right. We've got to look at where we can learn video and do it very well. And by working with video in many different ways, like with videochallengegroup.com, you can find out a lot of different areas that are available for you, and particularly with a slant on not just looking good on video. Oh, yeah, we cover that. Not just some of the new cool trends, but how you use this to make money. And that's what we do at Video Rockstars, and how we do that. Matter of fact, Gina, I'm going to pull your leg, or pull your leg. I'm going to pull your arm just a little bit here. Reach and twist it just a little bit. I might pull your leg other times, but, but twist your arm just a little bit and tell us some of the ways that we tell people how they can make money using video at Video Rockstars through the Video Challenge Group.
Well, one of the ways is something that will that this article talked about as well, and that's essentially we focus a lot on recurring income, and this article talked about how not just the one and done, but the ongoing. You know, you teach at the national level, you teach at the regional level, and it's so much easier to do through the video. But in particular, let me just let folks know that this Wednesday, December 1st, the amazing Lois Kramer is going to be talking about how to get more speaking gigs, how to get more virtual or in-person speaking engagements, as well as training engagements. And she's going to be talking about why December in particular is a great time to work on building your business and to make contact with people who have the potential to hire you, and to help think through who are the best people to be contacting right now and what would I say to them. And she's going to do an amazing session for us this Wednesday, and people can participate for free in our free challenge group. That's videochallengegroup.com.
Yeah,
And
I like
Terry,
it.
you'll be talking about something, and each week we have a Terry's Tantalizing Tech Tips. What will you be telling us about this Wednesday?
Well, this Wednesday is going to be kind of fun, as they all are. But this one, I think, particularly a brand new thing for us that we've heard about, we've not done as much with, but we're going to learn and we train as we go. And that is related to cryptocurrency. It's the NFT, non fungible tokens, which means you can then start taking what you're doing as a speaker, as a writer. Musicians are using this, sports athletes are using this, and start taking snippets of what you've done and selling that. So that people might buy, oh, say for instance, some time with you, they have to buy so many Terry coins, and they would get a Terry coin, and with so many Terry coins, they get the ability to attend this meeting, or they can do that. And if they say, gee, I bought the thing, but I want a refund on it, they don't have to worry about a refund. They just turn around and resell those. And these non-fungible tokens are something that are really profoundly changing our world and what we're doing. So we're going to be talking about that and a whole lot more. Again, it's videochallengegroup.com. Come over there, see us, and it'll be at 4 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. Just talk to Siri, talk to Google, or talk to your Google Assistant, or talk to Alexa, and find out when that is in your local time zone. But it'll be 4 o'clock U.S. Eastern Time Zone this coming Wednesday. So for some good information, lots of fun that'll be there. So, Gina, anything else you want to add before we say goodbye? Because I think we could just keep going forever and ever on this, which would be kind of fun.
Well, I would just say post in the comments below what aspects of virtual training you're interested in, what aspects of virtual training you're doing. We'd love to know. And we'd love to know what kind of things you want to know more about. We're very focused on helping you leverage your on-camera presence for more impact and more income. So what aspect of that would you like to know more about? And I'd love to know if you are interested particularly in NFTs, non-fungible tokens, which on the surface, people, I would say that has nothing to do with me as a speaker, as an expert in my field. Why would I want to know about that? But what I do know now is that, wow, this is just going to totally change the game of how we get paid, how we get compensated, how we build communities, and it's going to make the world a much better place, much like the internet has made our lives so much better, much like those of us who've been using cryptocurrencies for a while, it's made our lives so much better. NFTs are going to really change the game for people who communicate for a living.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Gina, thank you for joining us today. And thank you, dear viewer and listener, for being with us today. I'm Terry Brock. I'm joined by Gina Carr here. We will look forward to seeing you a little bit later. And oh, by the way, before we say goodbye, if you're watching this on recording, we know a lot of people will, by all means, please leave a comment or any questions you have. We particularly monitor these for the next 24 to 48 hours very closely so that we can still get back with you and leave a response. Again, thanks for being with us today, and we wish you much continued success in the future.